Hello to everyone in the Holy Trinity Greek Orthodox Cathedral community and all of our friends. This is Father Jonathan. I hope you're doing well. In the past, we've talked about the Beatitudes quite a bit. This is our reflections on the Beatitudes. But in the midst of these conversations, we've kind of simultaneously looked at how they speak about the way that we're supposed to live in relationship with our God, but also how we're supposed to live in relationship to our brothers and sisters, our fellow human beings. And this is important because what we should be coming to see in all of this is that our relationship with God is intimately connected with our relationship with other people. In the past couple of videos, however, we talked about how God, being the source of all life and holiness, been the ultimate aim of our Christian life, our spiritual life, dictates the way that we move through the world because God is the center of our lives. We are theocentric, which is really important because it gives shape to all of our relationships. We look at what is permanent, what is ultimate, what is true, our relationship with God, and that becomes the way in which we interact in the midst of the world. So while we put God first, we're always oriented towards God, hopefully coming into union with God. We don't neglect the responsibilities that we have to our brothers and sisters and the rest of creation. We just mediate. We view, we engage in those relationships from the place of our relationship with God. And so our relationship with God transforms us and allows us to live more authentically in relationship with other people. And if our purity of heart is what's required of us for this relationship with God, then our purity of heart is also required in our relationship to our brothers and sisters. Because if I am overly attached to the things of this world, money, power, prestige, ideologies, well, I might use these things or seek these things at the expense of my brothers and sisters. I might use others as a means to the end of getting what I want. This money, prestige, power, being able to lord over others with an ideology, which isn't living authentically in relationship with God. And so we are called to transform our relationships with other people through the purity of heart that we've cultivated in our pursuit of communion with God, a communion that's freely given, but requires us to peel away those things that are preventing authentic relationality with God first and foremost, and kind of as a byproduct or as an extension, our relationship with other people. Saint John Cassian, a beloved saint of mine, who kind of gives me my understanding of what an ultimate aim is, a telos of Christian life is, and a more immediate purpose, a skopos, this kind of more immediate pursuit that we have, because seeking something that's an ultimate goal is a little bit far off in the distance, but seeking the more immediate purpose allows us to experience incremental changes in our life. Now, St. John is writing about monastics in a kind of primarily monastic audience. So he's not talking about Christian life as a whole because the context in which he's in is monasticism. So he's talking about the ultimate aim of monastic life is the kingdom of heaven, which is another way of saying union with God, communion with God, or theosis. The idea that the kingdom of heaven is the ultimate goal, and the kingdom of heaven is a kingdom in relationship to God. It's easy to make those connections. And his more immediate purpose that he offers for why people become monastic and what they're doing is purity of heart. Because he sees that we can't live in relationship with God if our hearts are impure. And so any virtue could really be expressing this reality. If we are seeking purity of heart, we could also be seeking love or dispassion, for not being connected or attached to this world, but transforming ourselves in relationship to the world where we still live in it, but we live in it in a way where we're not attached to it, where our immediate goal doesn't become our ultimate goal. And our immediate goals shifted to things that don't have ultimate significance. Like I've given as examples, money or prestige or power, popularity. And so what this is saying is, as we are pursuing our ultimate goal of our union with God, we do so with the more immediate purpose of acquiring these virtues, purifying ourselves from those things that we're attached to, so that as they're peeled away, not just our relationship with God is transformed, but our relationship with everyone is transformed. Because as we peel away those things that don't matter and are impermanent and really aren't part of who we really are, we become authentically ourselves, more and more so. And so when we relate to others, we're not relating to them from a false sense of self or a false self or all of our attachments. We're relating to them as we truly are. And therefore, there's no pretense. We're not expecting something from others. We're not seeking something from them. We're just living in relationship with them, with purity of heart. And in doing so, we will begin to see God in the face of our neighbor. And so purity of heart, yet again, brings about the vision of God. And then coming videos will break this down even further and look at these topics, how they relate to broader senses of what spiritual life is, how it fits into our notion of progress in spiritual life. And we'll ultimately culminate with a discussion of what vision of God is, what it means to see God. God bless you. We're here for you. We love you. Don't hesitate to reach out, call us, email us, send us a note on social media, leave a message in the comment section, whatever you want. We're here for you. We love you. God bless and have a beautiful rest of your day.